By taking this course, you'll be able to identify the different connector types, recognize the main steps for importing data from Endpoint Manager, EPM, to ISM. There are various connectors you can use when importing data into ISM. Let's review these so that you're familiar with each. Email import is going to be used with Email Listener. It uses XSLT transformations to process your email into a format that ISM can ingest. Discovery 9.x, SCCM, and EPM connectors all use the Asset Processor processing engine, which is part of the Discovery Application Server module. You'll need that installed to use these three connectors. The main differences between them are the type of source database and the out-of-the-box settings in ISM. Next are File on Shared Folder, FTP, and Secure FTP, SSH. These all use the same methodology and are distinguished by the places that you get your source data from, such as Windows Share or an FTP location. ISM scans for files that are dropped there from another utility. When a new file is put in the location, ISM will import it in just as it does for the manual file upload, which you learned about in the Data Import module. This automated process still requires a file such as a .csv or Excel. Note that if you are an Ivanti Cloud customer, File on Shared Folder and FTP are not viable options, but Secure FTP is. Remote Peaks Hotel recently implemented EPM with Ivanti and wants to import CI data from there into ISM. Let's take a look at the steps Ren needs to take in order to do this. Begin the EPM import by opening the Admin UI and going to Extend, Integration Tools, and clicking Data Import Connections. From there, you'll see various Endpoint Manager options that are part of the out-of-the-box options. Click Endpoint Manager Import to get the basic CI data needed. Type the server and database names. Enter the authentication for the SQL account, which is a database credential not connected to the EPM application or core servers. Click Test Connection to see the results. When the connection is successful, click Close and then click Next. You'll see out-of-the-box mapping that should meet 98% of your needs. If you need to customize the mapping, Ivanti recommends engaging Ivanti Services or an Ivanti partner. You'll see certain tables pre-selected. The final three fields will always be the same for EPM because they are integral pieces of the database structure. Root table is computer. Unique key is computer_IDN. The change time column is HW last scan date. You cannot change these fields. Update the batch field to match what your processing server can handle. If it's going too slow or your server can't handle the load, lower the number that you're requesting in each batch. To determine the max size, make it a bit more than the total number of CIs you are expecting to import so that you get all of the CIs that you need and don't fall short. If you don't do this, you'll have to go back, reset it, and import again. In this scenario, we're asking for 50 records at a time until we get to 500. Once those are set, click Next. You have out-of-the-box filters here. If you only want certain types, such as Linux or Mac, you can set that here. In our scenario, we'll be importing mostly servers, computers, and virtual servers. Once you've updated your filter settings, click Next. The field mapping will take a little time to load for your metadata and mapping information. The out-of-the-box mapping is quite complete and provides a lot of information. The far left column is source information, table and column names. The far right column is the destination, which is a piece of an XML document that ISM formulates in the asset processor that is then transformed into data in the database. There are multiple stages to the XML import process. To see more of that, click Next. It's a best practice to make sure everything is working smoothly with your import before you schedule it. Once you get everything fine-tuned, you can load it into a schedule. Click Next, and then Yes. Click Preview to see the raw XML document. The system creates an XML record for each CI that you import. This is a sample for a randomly chosen CI. Review this if you'd like before publishing. Click Close when you're ready to publish. Finally, click Publish and Run Now, and then OK when the pop-up window shows. Exit the Admin UI, and in the Admin role, click More. Search for Integration Queue to check your progress. Click List View to verify Asset Processor information. If you click Refresh, you'll see the Asset Processor line item information for each CI. Each time you refresh, you'll get real-time updates until after they've all completed and are out of the queue. To get historical data on your imports, go to the Message Queue Journal business object. Next, go to the CI business object to view the computers that were just imported from EPM. Click on a computer to see information in the details, software, network, and other tabs. Based on what we see, the import data looks good. Return to the Admin UI and click the Endpoint Manager in Integration. Always allow the data to completely load before clicking Next so that you don't accidentally save a partial set of data into your database. When you get to the Schedule Settings step, you'll see that the out-of-box setting is CMDB. The schedule details show below the schedule list, so you'll get an incremental update every 1 day. Click Next, and then Publish, and then OK. In your scheduled jobs under Monitor, click the CMDB Import and the Integration tab to see the schedule that you just published. When that import fires later in the day, it will only include values higher than the last import. In this scenario, we see just one. The system reads the last highest value and uses that as a base. This is how you get a daily incremental update. If you want to re-import everything, simply remove the date or change the year to many years ago in the last data change time field and save your changes. Finally, return to Endpoint Manager and click Run Now. When you go to the integration queue and hit Refresh, you'll see that the CIs are being imported again.